just like hoovering up minion waves while the rest of his teammates are dying. We need to avoid that happening. And then I think the Kiwoom DRX are going to be looking good. But let's get into the draft here for game number 1. We have first pick going over to KRX this time around. And HANJIN BRION with that counter pick opportunity on the blue side.
Mill going to be denied away from Namgung, which I think makes a lot of sense. I wonder if we end up seeing a Bard takeaway, since Andil's had some pretty solid performances. I do think his most recent outing was a bit hit or miss, but definitely a pick. He can get a lot of power on it. It's Shen Camille banned, so a lot of respect given over to Namgung already. And as the sort of bans start out this way, I immediately start to think, okay, what about Orianna, Cassiopeia?
Yep.
And Vi?
And Bard, I think Andil still definitely deserves the Bard ban. And I think we learned that only in their most recent series, where that Andil just managed to pick it up and just carried the game with it. He is very, very good on that champion. One more ban to come out from Kiwoom DRX, though. And like you were saying, it's getting a little pinched. The Ezreal is going to be what they decide to take away.
Good denial from Teddy, but it does mean that no mid lane is banned yet. A lot of pressure on that first pick. Nocturne also a thing. Do you want to ban Nocturne so they can't get Nocturne Orianna?
Yeah, maybe you just ban the Nocturne and then hope that you can just get 2 really good things. Yeah, and that's what they're going to look at right now.
So now it's up to Ucal. Is he just going to pick up the Orianna? Or are you going to do something crazy, like go in a different direction and just trade mids later, since, you know, there's multiple mids open right now?
Yeah, it could be one of the options. See what the first pick is going to be.
Even something like Olaf? Are we going crazy in that direction? It's
Orianna.
The Orianna. Okay.
I mean, it's Ucal. He does really like this champion. Has had a lot of success on it in the past. And so should feel pretty comfortable locking that one down. Now, what is going to be the response here from HANJIN BRION? Cassiopeia, decent choice. Lock is still up and available. And we have some recent tape on Roma having a pretty good time on that champion. Also managed to get pretty fed early as well. Despite getting that pentakill later on in the game, he was 4-0-2 for most of it.
I think you have to respect Frog's ability to match the Olaf and not just to immediately slam it, because we obviously saw him have a good matchup into that.
Yep.
But the Olaf definitely on the mind, even early in draft with how powerful it's been.
They could just go Jarvan, Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
And see whether there's a rumble angle. We've seen that call look really good.
If you do that, then if they pick Olaf, then you can match it on 3. If they don't pick Olaf, then you can pick it on 3.
Yeah.
That's that up potentially. They just go for the Olaf now.
Yeah,
so,
never mind.
Casting feeling confident. We've seen Frog play Jackson in this to great success. We've seen the Kled be mostly successful into this matchup.
But it's also Orianna and Kled or Jax. Both of those options, very good when they're wearing an orb.
Yeah. Also, Vayne has worked, so looks like Frog is going to go for the Jax again here.
Yeah, this is the Frog choice. I think does make some sense, but instead, Lee Sin will be locked in first. Looks like top sides of the map will be the focus, though, for both of our teams, and the Jax will still come on through. Willa just may as well have picked his own champion. I think that's fair enough.
There's a lot of mid options. I think the safe thing is just to pick mid for Roma. I think Cassio value is pretty good here if you want to lean to that. But could also just opt to pick up an AD carry here and then start to hammer away the pool of aiming.
Well, I think if you wanted the Cassio, you'd have to pick it now. And there it is.
Yep. Okay, so both teams picking their top side. And I think a lot of this hinges on Frog being able to replicate that performance he had previously on Jax. But, you know, I think having the Cassiopeia is a bit of a troubling situation for the likes of the Elise and the Jax. Can be a bit annoying in team fights.
Yeah. It was game 1 versus BNK FearX that Frog was able to get the better of Clear. They did go on to lose that series pretty crushingly after that. But that first game looked fantastic from Kiwoom DRX, so they're going to have to make sure that their longevity is going to be able to hold out against this HANJIN BRION roster that they do often go the distance against.
I like the Lulu ban because I feel like, you know, you want a AD carry that does DPS here for Kiwoom DRX. Kind of like Jhin is often a popular pairing with a composition like this, but he's definitely seen Jhin struggle to cut through bulkier comps and things like an Olaf.
All right, well, Corky No Trinity Force AD carries allowed for Teddy, is what aiming is saying. I do think there's a Sivir angle, perhaps, for Teddy, if they would like to go that way.
I think Sivir looks good with that comp. Movement speed really nice, and obviously has a lot of setup already from the team.
And if the Karma is lashed up, can be pretty dangerous. The Nautilus is going to be banned away.
That does give more freedom to the Karma if they want to bring that out. There is still that Bard available, which I feel like Andil into the Jarvan could be looking at.
Feels a little bit checkmatey to me, because they get first choice, right? I think the Karma would have to be banned now. Otherwise, you just walk into Karma Sivir, and it's the go fast and have a really rough time composition. As the Jhin will be taken away instead. And I wouldn't be surprised if Teddy just locks in the Karma here, and we're staring down the Sivir Karma combo with the Jarvan on their side, and nothing too much to worry about.
I think if you do go in that direction, I could see Kiwoom DRX going Kate Bard probably into that.
Oh, that's a good point, and it is Andil's Bard.
So pretty good value there. Also, the fun thing with Tempered Fate is if you ult when the Olaf's on top of someone, the Olaf doesn't get CC'd, and then his ult's just going to time out. And it's actually HANJIN Brioon who pick up the Caitlyn themselves, which honestly, you can't match this well with a Sivir because Sivir into Jarvan is just miserable. So
yeah, this is the problem. You've sort of got them out of being able to pick Sivir into this, which a lot of people like to because of the spell shield value, into the traps. Namgung as well, if they pick away the Bard, then you have Karma. And Karma with a Olaf and a Jarvan feels absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And what are you going to pair with this in terms of AD carries? Because a lot of the popular pairings with Bard, Caitlyn, Jhin...
I mean, they banned them away.
Yeah, they're not available, so...
Bard Yunara. I'm going to put that in the not like column.
Yeah. Not the most convincing duo.
Yeah, I'm not clicking the like button on that one. It is still going to be locked in, though. Namgung.
He is a big Elise player.
He is.
And we've talked extensively about Bard's rotund hitbox.
Oh, no! He had too many cookies, and now the spider is going to punish him for it. Elise going to be slammed here. This feels like the Namgung signature pick at this point. I know he just had that incredible 0-8 Camille win the game moment, but this still just says Namgung to me. He's kind of taken it away from Lehens, who was the original Elise guy, but he can have Shen and Singed and stuff like that still. And Yumi.
I think HANJIN Brion's bot side feels very comfortable in this game. They're going to have a lot of pressure in the bot lane 2v2. We've seen Roma have some good success in the Cassiopeia. The only real edge I feel like Kiwoom DRX has is in the top jungle 2v2. You know, Lee Sin can circumvent a lot of the damage and CC from Olaf and Jarvan, and then Jax just presses Counter-Strike. So as long as HANJIN Brion don't fall prey to that, I think they're in a very comfortable spot.
My issue is that Kiwoom DRX, a lot of their champions want to spike on 3 items, 2 items, 3 items, right, before they start to get all that strong. I guess Trinity Force for the Jax isn't too bad, but HANJIN Brion are just going to kind of be pretty good for most of the game. Yes, I know there's a Caitlyn trough, but the top side of the map should be able to make up for that, not to mention the Caitlyn is augmented so well by this Elise on the bottom side. I do feel like the extra power in the early game might help the bros out. But let's see what happens as we get onto the Rift. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1 of the Bro and Brew. Is your tax in? That is my question. My answer to that question myself is no, sorry. So here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
You know, we so often see bot laners just run barrier, even if their support is going to ignite. They're like, I'm taking barrier regardless. It's the bigger health prevent for me. But I like the fact that Teddy's gone heal here to kind of help out Namgung and make the 2v2 strong.
Yeah. It also works like a pseudo-ghost. Kind of like that. Caitlyn loves having a bit of extra movement speed. I think it's a cute maneuver. We are going to get the Peacemaker and the Cocoon combo, though.
Yeah, that's pretty painful. Not one you want to burn your cleanse on.
No, and he doesn't. But it still means he takes a whole bunch of Peacemaker damage. As he doesn't take that Peacemaker damage, because that one went a little wide.
So Aiming has his passive stacked up and is able to start shredding the wave, but I think Bro are just going to hit level 2 in a second and be able to go aggressive now that it's down.
Yeah, Aiming and Andil do manage to get there themselves, but the Cocoon goes wide. So Namgung is going to have to back away. Electrocute's going to get traded here. Now that Namgung does have the Q, he at least is able to do a fair bit of damage. Cosmic Binding not doing too much there for Andil, though. And it should be Teddy and Namgung with control of this wave, which makes sense, right? They should have that.
Yeah.
But could have been a lot worse.
I do like the early heal from Andil, though, because obviously with Ignite on the other side, healing in the middle of a fight is just going to be reduced and feel a bit terrible.
You can see Frog just going to walk on over and should be able to pick up this next minion wave. Counter-Strike up and available. And the Jacks just having a great time here in top lane. That skin is crazy, by the way. There is a lot going on.
So casting on Exhaust here and Conqueror, so no real movement speed to help him out in team fights, but in an extended trade, it's going to be a good amount of value.
All right, Andil looping around. Gideon should be here. And isn't going to be spotted just yet. Just immediately walks on over to the Bard. And is looking to get on up to see what this Lee Sin is up to. He is discovered, I'm pretty sure.
There's no way you can
Scryer's
contest
Bloom.
the Scuttle on the bot side. And Will is trying to find an angle, so Roma thinks he's safe.
Yeah, Sonic Wave does come in. Roma doesn't want to use the flash, and in fact, doesn't have to. So he is just able to walk it off. Willa is poisoned, but should just be able to take this top Scuttle. Nothing too much to worry about.
Yeah, I think Roma are going to clear this wave and then TP back. It was a good angle from Willa realizing he can't do anything on the bot side of the map for that Scuttle, so he gets a heavy trade in a Roma and then goes for that top side Scuttle. Although with the TP timings coming in, it doesn't really amount to much.
Frog holding on to this wave up here towards his top side, does have a few minions in his advantage, but that undertow felt pretty satisfying. Casting does have a lot of minions
here. Oh, he
here.
doesn't have one for the cannon.
Side, and oh dear, Frog jumps on top of him. It's getting a little scary here for this Olaf, and Frog just so aggressive. Misses a cannon though, but I think that Casting also missed one in that exchange. As Ucal taking a lot of damage there. The Miasma goes down as well. As Roma, that was a bit of a close by Noxious Blast.
I was about to say, when you get that Noxious Blast at the end of the trade, it feels so up. Oh, the trap.
Oh no, Andil gonna get headshot, and there is the repel. First blood over to Namgung. Can he give one to Teddy? That's the question. Aiming still has cleanse, so he's not going to get Cocoon to death, but still, the Bros, first blood in the bottom lane, and it goes to the man on his Elise.
The Bard's just so round, he can't help it.
Oh no.
Steps in the trap, was looking for the cupcake, and in the end does.
You can always get him with the cupcakes. Oh dear. Well, let's have a look at it one more time, even if we don't necessarily want to. Just gets cocooned.
On vision as well, and tries to step away. I think just had to immediately flash afterwards. This is why it's so punishing. It's like you get hit by one bit of CC, and it's like, okay, well, I'm dead.
Yeah. Teddy did flash for it. I don't know whether that was entirely necessary. I think that Andil was very dead. Oh, no. He did have Magical Journey, so might have been able to do the alcove journey thing back to his turret. And so I think the flash might be warranted, honestly, from Teddy, just to make sure that they can get that first blood. Cosmic Binding going to go a little bit wide. At least into the Bard can be kind of annoying, but also can kind of be awesome with the fact that the Cosmic Binding can be eaten by your Spiderlings, or your Spiderlings can cause you to get stunned. As Petrifying Gaze comes down, but there is a Willa in the area. He's level 5, but Roma is still likely to have to flash, and Willa is going to follow him and pick up the kill.
Roma just playing super far up the lane, and Willa gets a nice wraparound, finds an angle in, and is able to circumvent that wall that's in the banana brush to get access. So Roma burning flash and still dying feels pretty bad. Now that they're invading onto this Gromp, but also just the pressure here means that aiming is cut off from the tower completely.
Yeah, Willa is going to come on over just to try and escort this Yunara back to the wave, but Teddy's already taken 2 turrets as this one goes down. And this wave is just kind of going by the wayside. It is almost double the CS for the Caitlyn here in this lane. And that's what this Elise lane does, right? Elise is basically useless later on in the game, but what she does do is make sure that you are definitely winning early.
Well, she's a Cocoon bot, which...
Yeah, I mean, it's still somewhat useful, I guess.
Roma goes aggressive here. Ucal gets a 6 in. Once the shockwave hits, it's just over. And the flash, at this point, is just trading flashes.
Yeah.
No way to get out of that. We do see as you said, a big advantage between AD carries. Frog has a bit of a lead in the top lane on this Jax, but nothing too crazy to write home about yet.
Oh, by the way, you know how we had that question on LCK Feud about which champion would be the best parent? I'm going to have to hold that thought for a moment as casting is forced to flash. Shouldn't Elise have been, like, #1? Because she's actually a parent.
Don't think most people want to be parented by Elise.
No, but that's not the point. She is a parent. She's the only one that's valid for. Everyone selected, like, Sona and Soraka. They don't have any kids that I know of in the lore.
On that other champions who are parents, it surely can't only be Elise.
And I guess a lot of Spiderlings do die per game.
Yeah, pretty
So
sacrificial.
She wouldn't be a great parent. But I guess, and also what's being brought up here on our teleprompter is, the question wasn't who is a parent, it's who would be the best parent. But I only have tape as far as parenting is concerned.
Wait.
On Elise.
I got it.
Right?
I got it.
What did you get? Who?
Warwick. Because Warwick is Vander, and he was a great parent.
Great parent to who?
To Vi and...
Oh, right!
Yeah.
Oh, right, in Arcane!
Yeah, in Arcane. That's more
sorry,
accurate now.
I was doing a bit of a Chronicler impression.
Yeah.
Just kind of saying that I didn't watch it.
Guys, spoilers, sorry. I just spoiled it for anyone who hasn't watched it in like however many years it's been out. You know who's sitting at Chronicles like, man, I
was like, Vander. I'm like, Van Damme?
No.
That's from Xenoblade Chronicles. It's a completely different game.
It's weird there's such a small pool of parents who are champions I can think about. Singed!
Oh, they're getting yelled at! There's the knock-up onto the Lee Sin. Slam dunk there from GIDEON, and he'll grab the second kill for the Bros.
That's also Singed, right? From Arcane, we established.
Yes. He's
Great
there.
Father maybe, did some slightly not friendly things, but...
Namgung did a flash as well.
Oh, Ucal, Poisons Connect.
Yeah, Twin Fangs are going to be sunk in, but doesn't get hit by that last Noxious Blast. And now looking to turn it around, does actually find the Shockwave, but Cocoon lands. Roamer had already given up on the play, though. Just going to be an Electrocute from Namgung. And GIDEON going to be taking his grubs. Oh, a day when the GIDEON grubs all go to GIDEON is a day that feels good for the Bros.
I think HANJIN BRION in a pretty solid position right now. Teddy already has that collect. Look at Teddy. I know we meme on Collector a lot. Look at this early Collector, and then look at the items aiming has.
Well, he's got a Cull. That feels great. As casting is getting chased down the lane, Frog was like, actually, hang on a second, I can kill him. And he does! The Ignite goes down. There's the knock-up onto Frog. He does have to flash to get out of the way of GIDEON. Let's see whether he can escape this, though. As over the wall he goes. GIDEON needed to wait for the flag and drag. Doesn't get it in time. And Frog will escape.
Casting had exhaust. Was that up when that... I don't think he used it before, so I presume that was up when the all-in happened. Yeah, it was. He just didn't
press it.
I think there was definitely a time in which you could have pressed it and mitigated damage that could have helped you live at least for longer.
Would have guaranteed the kill onto Frog. I think I can guarantee that. But we're going to see this one more time. Just jumps on top of him.
Yeah.
We do have confirmation that he had exhaust.
Has lethal tempo stacked up and then goes for the ult comp. I mean, the thing is, I guess you have to exhaust before he goes in the end. But if you caught him on the leap strike, it would have been pretty massive. And yeah, just gets to walk it out. So Frog really having a day out so far in this game. We knew he could bring out the Jax counter pick into the Olaf. And we knew it'd been successful before, but he is repeating that trend.
And who would have thought that a guy called Frog is good at a champion with an ability called Leap Strike?
It all makes sense.
It does all make sense. Frogs also really like to use lampposts as weapons. I learnt that from a Frog documentary.
Yes.
I think David Attenborough narrated it. It was called Frog Planet, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on it. Teddy going to be able to take the first turret, though, and the Bros move to a 1.6k gold advantage. Willa now in position in this banana brush.
Yeah, they've walked past a wood already, so they're kind of aware of what's going on. Kiwoom DRX will back up, but, I mean, the damage is done. That tower's gone. There's a 1,700 gold lead for Teddy already in this game. And
he's collecting.
That is definitely going to be a task for a Fed Jax to handle.
Yeah, they'll hand it over to Frog and say, you deal with this guy, please. And at least, you know, Teddy is the Caitlyn. The bros do need to be careful in navigating the next little while of this game. But it is going to be a trade of dragons. Ooh, Earth, Wind, and Fire available here today in this game right now. Just needs to be an Infernal. Let's see whether it does actually happen.
Odds are pretty low, which is why it's so impactful when it happens.
Exactly. It's got to happen. There it is. I knew it. There was going to be an Earth, Wind, and Fire today. Just wasn't in our first series. Ah, gorgeous. Thank you so much to Bro and Kiwoom DRX.
So HANJIN BRION have the prio on moving up on the swap, and they've just taken 2 plates before anyone even... Whoa!
That is a magical journey.
That was a great stun!
Flash, that was sick. And you said that it was Frog's job to take... Oh, what? What the hell was that, Teddy? Oh, Frog thought he had him. And aiming did not have him.
I'm speechless.
A blunder, perhaps.
You know,
or
we know aiming quite well. We know he was like, I got that. Give me the kill. I got this kill. He did not have this kill. That's the spoiler.
And Frog's like, all right, sure, man, and just pieces out.
That was honestly a great play set up by Andil, and then just an actual phenomenal blunder on the back end. And that goal lead between the two AD carries has not shifted at all as a result. So
it's actually a really big deal. At least aiming does have the
And you know what? In terms of the impact to the state of the game, to the goal, to everything like that, it's also just a mega tilt, which I think also really rests on the minds of Kiwoom DRX.
And aiming as well. I mean, he is one that can be a somewhat emotional player. GIDEON and Roma going to be getting to work on this top outer turret. The bottom outer was already taken by Teddy previously in the game, and he is now parked in the mid lane. They've been able to keep their structures alive. Let's check this one out from Teddy's perspective, as it was a sick play from Andil, man.
The heal baits him, and then the Peacemaker
redirect. Now Frog is dead as well!
And it goes,
to Teddy. Oh, no!
It was the Peacemaker redirect that got aiming, caught him off guard, but now he just gets another kill. Now they're trying to dive. This is an Olaf with ult and exhaust.
He's sidestepping a lot of stuff. The exhaust goes down onto Willer. He's found the button this time as they get the Ragnarok, but they get nothing more. Oh, I have Ragnarok and the exhaust, but they don't get the flash out of the Olaf.
Yeah, they get the resources, give some space for aiming to hit the tower, but they are backing off, and casting stuck around. GIDEON's here too.
Aiming. He doesn't have flash. He does have ult, so there is a dash available. If that undertow had landed and GIDEON had stayed interested, might have been a dead Yunara, but let's have a look at how this play all happened.
Oh yeah, going into spider form. Does have the repel to avoid the stun. A lot of damage from this Jax, but all in all, trading your Elise for a kill onto your AD carry, I think a pretty good trade.
Yep, you'd feel pretty good about that. I didn't even notice that Namgung died. I'm so desensitized to this guy dying, and I also don't think it actually impacts Bro's game at all.
Feels kind of weird.
Namgung just kind of dies all the time, and then can just still make great plays.
It feels kind of weird seeing an Elise with 0 in the death column, but especially when it's piloted by Namgung, so I think he just had to get one.
Well, do you know why? Because Lehens was the guy that played Elise all the time.
Yeah.
And he really popularized tactical inting.
Yeah. Wait, guys, aiming finished his Kraken Slayer. That seems really significant and relevant compared to Teddy's items.
My God! Those are some good items. Teddy, Romer is now taking a lot of damage from the Frog. This Jax is a problem, and now Roma will have to flash. The turret is somewhat healthy.
It literally just feels like there's 2 main characters in this game. It's Teddy and it's Frog.
And Frog, I think, is going to look better when this second item comes in. Probably going to go for Sundered Sky next. But Teddy's already got 2. And next one, maybe a rapid fire cannon.
You know what's the weirdest thing? Is that Frog is level 11. He's about to hit 12. He's level 11. Teddy is also level 11.
Why is he level 11?
Yeah, because you may think, well, of course Teddy has more items. He has the gold quest. But Frog has the XP quest. And
he doesn't have the items or the level advantage. That's not fair.
Yeah, he's like half a bar ahead right now, which is, man, not the best situation. I mean, Teddy is just extremely strong.
And how is aiming going to be the gold king this time when Teddy's got way more gold? This doesn't feel right. Maybe he's taking some plates, and a turret here towards his bottom side could help, as GIDEON does secure the Rift Herald. Might even be able to take down this outer turret. That'd be the last one left on the Rift. As Ucal will be able to finish the job down here. Okay. Frog now pushing into casting once again. So Olaf does have one item. And that's it, outside of his Doran's helm from earlier in the game. No shoes. But he doesn't really seem too bothered by it. I feel like Brolaf certainly shouldn't need shoes. You know?
Yeah, he's wearing the sandals.
Yeah.
You know what? That's something I'm wondering about. We have so many different types of shoes.
Yeah.
In League of Legends, we don't have any sandals.
It's a really good point. I wonder what the what the sandal shoes would do. Like, what stats would they have?
Yeah.
What do we need stats-wise to give to shoes?
I mean, we have Magic Pen. We don't have Armor Pen, but that would be really broken. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a reason why we don't have Armor Pen shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to have that. But
maybe it could be
something else.
Could be something river-related, right?
Health regen shoes that give you crazy health regen in the river.
That'd be so...
And they're sandals.
Yeah.
That would make, like, that's a sandally vibe.
That's true. You just relax in the river for a bit. And
yeah. And it does extra healing on champions that would suit it, like Neela. Sorry, Andil is going to deny the charge, but the bros might be able to use this to grab some damage from Teddy, and they do. Teddy does not really care too much about whether this charge happens because he is basically doing as much as a charge.
Yeah.
He does hit turrets.
It's a good move by Andil there to prevent the charge and slow down the pace of the game a little bit. That's the thing, is when you lose those outer towers, the crystalline overgrowth starts stacking on the inner towers. So the quicker they go down, the quicker the threat builds up on your tier 2s. So keeping that alive for the time being definitely will help out.
And also having this top lane outer turret for Kiwoom DRX on such low health really doesn't feel great. The fact that crystalline overgrowth isn't getting as much value as it could.
Yeah, it just feels like a waste.
Yeah. This, not as much of a waste, because, you know, at least it's got a lot of health in the mid lane. Problem is, that is a mid lane outer turret that has a lot of health. The bros also managed to get the next Drake. Fiend Hunter bolts are done here for aiming. He is going to be a late game threat, that's for sure.
Eddie just permanently feels like an item ahead off aiming. And to be fair, aiming has finished...
That's because he is.
Aiming has finished his tier 2 boots, but with creative carries, I feel like being at that extra item threshold just makes such a big difference.
Yeah, Teddy also rapid fire cannon next because he doesn't need the armor pen as much. Feels pretty good. As Namgung with his dash cannon, going to be able to get out of the way of the orb. No shockwave opportunity there. Frog does finally knock down that top outer turret, and Kiwoom DRX move to a little bit of an almost gold lead until it does get nullified immediately. This is such a bro and brew, Aux. Like, we are in the thick of it right now.
The tiramisu for the bro and brew.
Oh my gosh. It's one of those tiramisus that have been sitting around for a while as well. It's truly soaked in.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, fantastic. Have you been to Emart Traders before?
No.
They sell a tiramisu that is like the size of a house. It is massive. It's like a bucket of tiramisu.
That seems like bad information to give me.
Yeah, we bought it one time, and I was like, what the hell are we going to do with all this tiramisu? I think we had 8 people coming over, and we still were left with like 3/4 of that tiramisu.
That's crazy.
It was absurd. But I think we would be able to get through it in a series like this. This would give us the time to get through that kind of tiramisu, I think.
Nice little straight walk from aiming. No sidestepping, dodges away for the cocoon.
Yeah, he's just busy trying to earn that gold. Has managed to bring that gold lead down by about a cull's worth, because that's basically how it's moved.
That's funny, then.
Rapid fire cannon done. Oh, God.
Oh, and the Chovy belt for Roma. So some big spikes coming through. And DRX not really in a position to get aiming anywhere near his third item, although Ucal already has a second.
You know my feeling about this game, Aux?
What is your...
My feeling is all this preamble, all of this stuff that's happened at the beginning of the game, Teddy making the sick outplays, finding the first blood, and Frog being all cool and all that sort of stuff, I don't think it's relevant.
Okay.
I think like something's going to happen in the late game. Someone's going to make a mistake, or there's a capitalization that comes in, or Andil finds another one of these Tempered Fates but actually hits a priority target with it. And then the game is just going to be over. I think it's just going to be so even, and someone's going to trip on the shoelaces and it's going to be done.
You're implying that a Rise Group game between two LCK teams could be settled on a random happenstance in the late game.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's
It
a
just
wild
happened.
suggestion.
It just
And
might
yet-
happen.
It could well happen.
The realm of possibility. That's where I like to live, Aux. And that's precisely where I am. Casting being an Olaf that's holding a wave. Doesn't feel fantastic. This would give a bit of tempo back to Kiwoom DRX, though. Always get nervous when waves are frozen by top laners next to inner turrets. Let's give Kiwoom DRX a lot of extra space. And there are 45 seconds left on this this Drake. That would be Soul Point available for the bros.
They
GIDEON
don't
is
really
tagged.
have currently access to the area. A lot of control from Kiwoom DRX as they cut in here into the enemy jungle. So HANJIN BRION, despite being a team that have had a bit more control over this game, need to get themselves situated, especially when you have a Caitlyn who really wants to be setting up those traps and forming a line with them.
Yep. 40 CS ahead of the clock, by the way, is Teddy. Having a very good time right now. Oh, Willer and Andil. This is a sneaky play. Aiming is a little bit worse for wear, though, and Andil doesn't quite find that Cosmic Binding at all. Teleport brings Ucal in as Namgung is trying to escape. Going to fail to do so, but that is so much damage, and the Elise just immediately goes down. Petrifying Gaze comes in from Roamer as well. It's going to hold Frog in position, and the Ragnarok Viking is just going to chase them down. Magical Journey's fantastic, but it's no Elise versus no Lee Sin, and this is unfortunately not 2020, and so therefore it's not both junglers dead. Roamer is now able to find an angle towards Andil as well, and KRX, yeah, they thought they had an opportunity, but I do not think they do. Oh, never
Frog's
mind.
back.
Frog may leap on top of them. Does get into the brush here as Casting's looking to try and catch him off onto the side. Teddy was stepped forward. I don't know whether he really wanted to. These health bars are relatively low. GIDEON secures the dragon. There's a knock-up, though. That'll deny the counter-strike value, and Frog just goes down. It's a reckless swing, but a swing nonetheless as Namgung catches Andil. Turns back up, takes out the Bard. No questions up. That's why this guy gets more powerful every time he dies.
That's what I'm talking about. Of course, HANJIN BRION win that because Namgung died. It's the key to their play. I think ultimately, just the bit of an overstep here from Willer. They're trying to chase onto the backline. Namgung's the initial target, but he repels onto the minions, and then the Tempered Fate honestly kind of helps. Teddy flashes out of it. They can't follow from Namgung. They instantly chain on the Willer, and he gets exploded. And yes, they kill the Elise, but it doesn't really matter. It's a big Petrifying Gaze from Roma. And the Magical Journey value, pretty massive.
Dude, look at how many. Did you see the control wards in that
Yes,
rush?
they killed all three of them.
That was
Triple kill on the control wards.
They put so much time with those control wards, I imagine.
Yeah, but you got to factor that in.
Yeah.
All the gold in. There was a lot from those control wards. Now, Frog feels like he's on a great angle because everyone's starting to get low. He's a Jax, a lot of auto attackers. But the disruption here, I think, is beautiful. GIDEON knocking him up and then walking out of the counter-strike, so no one gets stunned there.
It was
Pretty
beautifully
well played.
Yeah. And no shockwave. The old positioning was
we got
pretty
a
good
fight
towards the
coming
end there. And yes, there is a fight, but a good Magical Journey will get Kiwoom DRX out of there.
I just kind of get the feeling that if it wasn't for the Magical Journey, Kiwoom DRX would have, like, triple the amount of deaths.
Oh, yeah. It's what's keeping this relatively close. But the gold lead, I think, is the largest it's been so far. Plus, those two Infernal Drakes, pretty scary. They do manage to get some control, though, of this mid lane, as we can see. More defensive trap positioning here.
Feels like HANJIN BRION are constantly giving space to Kiwoom DRX, not just kind of face-checking into them, but saying, okay, you guys have numbers here, we will respect that, we will back off. Has obviously slowed the pace of the game down, but considering how a lot of our Rise games go, it makes a lot of sense. Showing some good discipline here are the bros.
Casting just giving us a kaboom here towards the bottom side of the map. And we'll just wipe out
good
the minion wave.
noise on that ability, honestly.
I love that skin.
Yeah.
Olaf, I think it's got to be one of the best.
I think it's one of these things with champions where, like, they do make other good skins, but when you just peaked that early on, it just must feel futile.
Yeah, how are you supposed to ever, like, use any of the other ones? And there are some really cool Olaf skins. Unfortunately, why would you use them? It's like Trundle, you know, Junkyard Trundle. It was the best. And then they remade Trundle and ruined it. But at the beginning, like, there was never a need to get any of the others.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the vibe we have now with Rumble, just always for Galaxy.
Oh, it's also Bro using Brolaf. We were just reminded of that.
So
that is
good.
also, like,
They have
That's pretty
to
peak.
use it.
I mean, everyone has to use it, but the bros really, really have to use
Imagine
it.
when Bro win Worlds.
Oh,
They have like
the Brolaf?
Bro.
They get a bro. Do you know what? It just needs to be the Brolaf skin with all the Brolaf like voice lines still there, just wearing a bro jersey. That's all it is.
That's all we need.
We need it as low effort as possible because that skin is perfect, right?
Yep.
And so you just like tack a little bro on. Oh my! Now they have to win Worlds. Oh dear, that's putting a lot of pressure onto the bros. Let's see whether they can beat Kiwoom DRX.
Hey, it's
first.
still possible. We haven't mapped it out, but I can tell you I did fact check this.
It is mathematically possible for them to win.
Yeah, and that's the best kind of possible.
Yeah. Is it? I guess there's not. I mean, the other kinds of possible are just possible.
Yeah, are the other kinds of possible?
What other kind of possible is there outside
know.
of just regular and mathematically? What about geographically possible?
Yeah, that's a big one too.
What about brolafly possible?
Well, I think it is geographically possible because they could travel.
They can get there.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping.
It's mathematically and geographically
Maybe
possible.
scientifically possible. But
Yeah.
they say kind of things like, oh yeah, you know, people have theories like, oh yeah,
Yes. It's
like in Interstellar, you
yeah.
could go in a black hole. I'm like, could you? Like you say it's scientifically possible, but I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
Um,
I think anything that ends with alley is possible. Like you can just say that word.
bowling alley possible.
Yeah, it's a bowling alley possible. It's yeah. Diagonally possible.
Yeah. Oh, that's if you have a bishop in chess.
Yeah, exactly. Or a queen. Royally possible. It's no worries.
Oh my
we have
God.
really gone off the deep end.
Yeah, it is-
I thought the tiramisu conversation was going to be the worst part, but nope.
It is the
we
soul
managed to beat
fight,
it.
and Kiwoom DRX have control of the area, so HANJIN BRION trying to move in.
Yeah, Willer's going to kick the Olaf. Don't know about that one, but it still does at least manage to CC him. The body's already dead. Teddy gets out of the way of Frog, who does flash, but then gets put into the Cataclysm, flagged and dragged across the ground. And the Bros, they should be able to guarantee this dragon if it does fly its way back to this pit. It will do that, and now they'll have the power of fire to bear down on Kiwoom DRX.
Big pickup there with the Infernal Soul, and honestly, HANJIN BRION playing that one really well, controlling the fight, peeling backwards, keeping Teddy safe. Does have to burn the flash, but it's definitely worth keeping himself alive. And here, Willet kicks the Olaf, but the follow-up's just not really there. I'm not sure what the game plan was, especially when he just ults afterwards. And here, Frog goes in, but the follow-up isn't there this time. And it kind of just leaves you thinking maybe if the Elise and the Jax were attacking Teddy, he would have gone down and the fight would have been playable. I don't think the shockwave was used there.
Well, certainly not on cooldown as GIDEON finds Willa once again. The cocoon goes in.
Guys.
That was too magical. Too magical, Andil. Too magical. I know we were talking about Diagon Alley before, and yeah, look, that was kind of where they were going. Maybe that was more of a Nocturne Alley, although he was banned this game. There is the Baron going down though, and Willa, he is still alive.
Oh.
And the Tempered Fate is going to buy us some time, but look at this trap line. Ooh, Petrifying Gaze comes in, and they are looking to try and kill Willa, but it's the Olaf that dies. Has it bought them enough space, though? The answer is absolutely. Frog possibly caught out as well, as Namgung looks to make his way over. Does at least repel towards the Jax, is aiming. Does have that ult running, but that's going to wear off relatively soon. And my goodness, Teddy, every shot he gets off.
Oh man, the Infernal Soul damage feels so bad. Oh, Ucal
Yeah,
caught.
Ucal gets 1,500 assists, and Shockwave is going to entirely miss. GIDEON, though, is going to have to flash to pick up that kill. Has the GA available. Romer is looking for Willa. He'll find him. Willa is looking for nothing because he's blind. Not quite able to do that as Namgung is able to flash himself over the bramble back wall. And Teddy, in the meantime, is just winning the game.
Yeah, has good priorities there. Does Teddy. That got a little bit chaotic towards the end. I love how the camp... Oh, Romer has 0 mana. You have no mana.
Well, he has a B button, and unfortunately that is going to get stopped. Does he have enough mana to kill Andil? The answer is it doesn't. Yes, yes. The answer is yes. But still, aiming does manage to get a kill.
You know, because of the Rod of Ages effect, what's the one it has and Catalyst has? Where you take damage, you get mana back?
Yeah.
You see how quickly his mana filled up there.
It's absurd. That item is pretty dumb.
So they managed to stall out the Baron, but we just see the Olaf leap on a Willa to force him away. Casting does die, but the job is done. I love how in this ensuing situation, we saw Willa step on a trap, and the camera like quickly panned over to show it.
Yeah.
So initially, it looks like things are all over. Things are going to back off. And then we have here Roma's chasing Willa off to the side, and Willa actually steps on a trap, so Roma's like, okay, I'll go for it. I can chase him here. This was just chaos. Gideon trading his GA for a kill. Willa unable to get away from this. Slows coming in, and the chase potential. And then here, yeah, just watch the mana as his health goes down, because he's pretty low. You're like, okay, he can't really do any spells. And it's like, oh, it just starts flying up.
Whoop, 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 whoop. He wasn't able to use it that well, but still did get enough spells out to kill the Bard.
So Teddy does have a 100% crit chance. Doesn't quite have the Bloodthirster, which is humongous spike, just being able to sustain any poke, really.
So he doesn't have a 120% crit chance? Frustrating.
Well, you wouldn't get any crit from the Bloodthirster, so...
All right. But he doesn't have 120% still.
No.
Because I think it caps at 100.
Though. But yeah, so... Oh, nice Rocket Belt.
Ulti comes on through. Namgung. Will he be able to find a cocoon? That's the question. Does he even want to? That's the other one.
Ow.
Oh my lord. Ucal did not want to tank that. He's like, I will command protect myself. Never mind.
The last time I was casting an Infernal Soul, because obviously teams don't often let it get to this point, but just seeing all this burst damage is pretty painful.
Yeah. I think Kiwoom DRX certainly know about it now. As casting, just standing outside turret range. Gideon moves on over. They're just going to slowly siege this
You know
one
what's
up.
one of the most annoying ones? Is Jarvan has the red smite, and he'll just drop a flag on you, and he'll just deal that damage and the Infernal Soul.
Yeah.
So he actually can just poke.
The flag actually does damage.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd.
Okay, well, we've got some backs being channeled here. The Baron has now worn off. 4.5k is the advantage. Teddy has a GA. Oh dear. This is getting to the point where things are going to be tough for Kiwoom DRX to win the game. However, what did I say before? This game could just come down to one of those moments where they just die like this. Not exactly the target they needed to kill.
You know,
the bros do get stronger when Namgung dies.
As soon as he left that brush that casting is in, I just knew he was dead.
Yeah.
The vision toggle definitely sold it, but you know, that's how it goes.
Oh dear. They're going to engage. Willa will take some damage here, but there's a counter-strike from Frog. Oh, the Tempered Fate to deny the damage here as aiming is going to get flashed out of the way of Andil. Gets 3-shot by Teddy. Frog gets on top of him though. The counter-strike comes in. The GA is put to work as now Roma just standing in defense. It's a phenomenal petrifying gaze as casting was trying to get the vision.
Oh, the shockwave!
Under two, Teddy taken out by a Slurkle of all things. And Kiwoom DRX somehow keep everyone but Andil alive.
They managed to find the angle. Teddy, GA gone, Flash gone.
He's
Elder
for
in
20
30
seconds.
They're not going to be up for it.
Oh my goodness. The Elder will be up and then 20 seconds later, Teddy will respawn. And Kiwoom DRX, they even got back to base for a reset before they fight for this one, and they may not even need to.
This was a big play from Kiwoom DRX, but also a bit of a throw from HANJIN BRION. The Tempered Fate is phenomenal here. And we quickly see Teddy having to flash away from the aiming laser. Frog gets in, we're seeing the value of that Jax into the Olaf, into the Caitlyn, and even manages to flash out afterwards. Just the fact, this shockwave, they just move forward, catch them off guard, Ucal making the big play, and now Elder in hand for Kiwoom DRX.
My goodness. And what did we say at the very beginning of this game as well? It was Kiwoom DRX have a composition that are largely angled towards late-game scaling champions, such as Jax, Orianna, and Yunara. Well, guess what? It's 35.5 minutes into the game, and yeah, the enemy team has Infernal Soul, but they've got Elder, and these champions all have lots of items.
It's the Gold King. Of course, aiming is now ahead in gold.
By 1.6k as well.
Although in terms of the race to 400 CS, 399 for Teddy, 397 for aiming. There's no cams to pick up on the way back. I think Teddy is going to win that race.
I think he's going to get there. Not a bad clip to get there either. And Roma is not far behind him. Almost has a 50, it in fact has a 50 CS lead over Ucal right now on this Cassiopeia. You saw, Kiwoom DRX, they now get themselves into a gold advantage.
Oh, there's 400 for aiming. Got the Raptors.
Oh, nailed it. And Teddy actually didn't stick around for that bot wave. So the Gold King will make it to 400 first, and also makes it to full items first. So he didn't even need to make it to 400 necessarily. Kiwoom DRX going to use that Elder in order to take this Baron. They'll do so for free.
Yep. Good call from HANJIN BRION just to let this one go. Yep. A minute on the Elder. That's what you have to stall out for. If you give up the inner, fine. Honestly, give up the inhibitor, it's fine. But just don't let them end the game and don't fight.
That would be the optimal move. And they don't have a massive amount of range. Their siege isn't exactly the greatest. But Namgung will get one shot almost completely. So honestly, they need to be very careful.
The Infidel still helps with clearing the wave out, that AoE explosion, but the 4 cannons again.
What is it with
that we
4
saw
cannons
from last series, just doing so much work. Now, they should be able to defend the Nexus towers here. Good Peacemaker there.
Yeah, that's going to get a bit of damage down. Only 2 of the cannons remain.
20 seconds, that's all you're waiting.
Ooh, Roma actually getting some decent damage here on a Frog. Could be meaningful, but these Nexus turrets, I mean, they're starting to just go down. 16 seconds left on this Elder Drake. And the Bros might actually have to fight to stop this, or try their very best to take down these minions. At least they do get that was such a good Ragnarok. And Petrifying Gaze on a 3! They're against Elder, and the Bros are still making it happen! Roma goes golden to try and deny the dragon, and the buff is going to wear off! It's a counter ace by the Bros, and they'll run up the mid lane to win the game!
And that was early! Elder was still there, we still were getting the executes, but Bro just find the angle to win it despite that!
Broma is an absolute monster in the clutch. It is nutty what this guy makes happen. And Namgung was dead. Like, this is an optimal team fight. Clean ace, Namgung dies, and the Bros will win the game.
Aiming may have hit 400 CS first, but you're not going to win against Bro and the Bro and Brew.
Oh, heck no. 1.5k gold. Absolutely nothing. They were against basically Exodia, but the Bros, they even let them have the buff and still won the team fight to win the game.
What a crazy fight that was, because again, they felt the hand was forced, the Lee Sin went in,